Imagine a killer lurking in the shadows, taunting the police with cryptic letters, never caught and never seen. The Zodiac Killer. A name that sends chills down the spine of Northern California, a mystery that haunts the annals of unsolved crimes to this day. From 1968 to 1970, this faceless killer left behind a trail of bodies, and a puzzle that still baffles even the sharpest detectives. Who was he? Why did he kill? And why, after all this time, can no one say for certain who the Zodiac really was? Let's start where the terror began. On a cold night in 1968, with two unsuspecting teenagers and a killer who would change everything. December 20th, 1968, Vallejo, California. Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were on their first date. It should have been a night filled with excitement, but it turned into a nightmare. They pulled off to a secluded spot along Lake Herman Road, unaware that someone was watching them from the darkness. It was quiet, too quiet. Suddenly, out of the night, the killer struck. Bullets pierced the silence. Betty Lou and David didn't stand a chance. Their bodies were found not long after, lifeless, abandoned, and marked by death's cruel hand. For the police, this looked like just another tragic murder in a small town. But little did they know, this was only the beginning of a killing spree that would leave the entire state trembling. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no motive. The Zodiac had made his first move, and it was far from his last. But this killer wasn't content with just taking lives. No, he wanted to be known. He craved the attention. A letter appeared at the San Francisco Chronicle, unlike anything they had ever seen. Signed with a symbol that would soon become infamous, a circle with a cross through it, the mark of the Zodiac. Inside this letter were chilling details only the killer could know, and something even more disturbing, a cryptic cipher, a puzzle that promised to reveal his identity, if anyone could solve it. But even after experts cracked the code, they were left with more questions than answers. The cipher didn't name the killer. Instead, it gave them a chilling insight into his mind. "I like killing people because it's so much fun," the Zodiac wrote. A taunt, a game, a deadly mystery. The police were now locked in a battle of wits with a killer who seemed to be playing by his own twisted rules. This was only the first of many letters. The Zodiac Killer was just getting started, and the police were running out of time. The Zodiac didn't just kill, he hunted. Each victim chosen carefully, each moment crafted like a dark symphony of terror. His reign of fear was far from over. Darlene Ferrin and Mike Mageau, young and in love, drove to Blue Rock Springs Park to celebrate Independence Day. But little did they know, their night of joy would turn into a nightmare. Out of nowhere, a car approached. A figure emerged, gun in hand. Mike was critically wounded, but survived. Darlene was not so lucky. The killer, now bolder, called the police himself, calmly claiming responsibility. The Zodiac was toying with authorities, leaving clues but no solid leads, no fingerprints, no evidence. Then came the attack that cemented his infamy. On September 27, 1969, at Lake Berryessa, a hooded figure bound and repeatedly stabbed Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, leaving a chilling symbol on their car. He wanted the world to know the Zodiac had struck again. The Zodiac wasn't done playing with the police. Soon after the Lake Berryessa attack, another call came in, calm and composed. Once again, the killer reached out to toy with the authorities, delivering his message with chilling ease, almost as if this deadly game excited him. He was untouchable, or so he wanted everyone to believe. As investigators pored over the clues, each piece of evidence only led to more questions. The letters, the symbols, the phone calls, nothing pointed to a clear suspect. The Zodiac had become a phantom, haunting their every step. But with every taunt, the Zodiac grew bolder. He promised to kill again, taunting that the police were powerless to stop him. His cryptic letters kept arriving, each one more sinister than the last. He wanted fame, he wanted fear, and above all, he wanted control. But what the police didn't know was how far this game would go. Many names were whispered over the years, but the most infamous was Arthur Lee Allen. A troubled man with a violent history, Allen fit the Zodiac's profile. He even owned a Zodiac brand watch, Despite cryptic links, no direct evidence ever emerged. DNA tests were inconclusive, and handwriting analysis proved uncertain. Was Alan the Zodiac? Or was he just another unfortunate suspect caught in the whirlwind of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in crime history? Despite numerous suspects, including journalists, criminals, and hoaxers, no lead in the Zodiac case has held. The cipher remains unsolved, potentially concealing the killer's identity. Advances in DNA tech offer hope, but results are inconclusive. Armchair detectives worldwide pursue theories, yet each ends in a dead end. Is the Zodiac still at large, or a master of evasion? The Zodiac's rampage may have ended decades ago, but his legacy of fear remains. He terrorized California and left a trail of horror that still haunts the families of the victims and the minds of investigators to this very day. But even for those who survived, the Zodiac became an invisible specter, lingering in the back of their minds. He was more than just a killer. He was the boogeyman of an entire generation. Time moved on. The world grew busier. Technology advanced. And yet, the mystery of the Zodiac still captivates the world, fueling books, movies, and countless theories. The question that haunts us all: who was the Zodiac? Will we ever know the truth? He wasn't just a killer. He became a symbol, a cipher of terror. Each new generation uncovers his story with renewed fear, feeding the myth that has outlived him. The Zodiac case has never officially been closed. Even decades later, detectives continue to sift through old evidence, hoping to uncover a clue that was missed, a detail overlooked. New technologies have breathed life back into the cold case. DNA testing, forensic analysis, and even internet sleuths have reignited the hunt for the Zodiac. His grip on the public's imagination has only grown stronger. We're closer than ever. All it takes is one new piece of evidence, one breakthrough, and the Zodiac's identity could finally be revealed. Could that breakthrough come tomorrow? Or will this remain an eternal mystery, the Zodiac forever cloaked in shadows? The Zodiac wasn't just a killer. He was a master of psychological warfare, toying with police, the media, and the public, like puppets in his deadly game. He played by his own rules, leaving behind cryptic ciphers, mocking law enforcement, and taunting the world. And in a way, he won. To this day, we talk about the Zodiac. We wonder about him. We try to unravel the mystery he left behind. He's become a ghost, haunting our history, a riddle we can't solve. Perhaps that was his plan all along, to never be caught, to remain a mystery forever. Is he out there, living quietly among us? Or did the Zodiac's dark secrets die with him? Maybe, just maybe, the answer lies closer than we think. The Zodiac case isn't just about murder. It's about fear, the unknown, and a game of cat and mouse that has outlived the players. Despite decades of investigation, theories, and breakthroughs, the Zodiac remains a phantom. For now, we are left with only questions. Questions that may never be answered. But that's the nature of the Zodiac's legacy. An unsolved mystery that teases us from the shadows. Will the truth ever come to light? Or will the Zodiac remain an eternal enigma, his identity lost to time? The Zodiac's reign of terror may be over, but his story continues to captivate minds around the world. What do you think? Will the Zodiac's identity ever be revealed? Or will this case remain the greatest unsolved mystery in American history? If you enjoyed this dive into one of the most chilling crime cases of all time, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more mystery and true crime content, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Because there's always another mystery waiting to be unraveled.